Stop right there. If you've been wearing your bob the exact same way since 2015, I need you to put the flat iron down for just a second and listen to me. Your bob is not the problem. The way you've been styling it, that might be exactly what's aging you 10 years before you even finish your coffee. Maybe you've noticed it in photographs lately, the ones your daughter takes and you quietly ask her not to post. Maybe it's just a feeling you can't quite put your finger on when you catch your reflection in a store window. Whatever it is, I want you to know it is almost never the haircut's fault. One small shift, and I mean small, can make a short haircut look expensive, soft, and years younger by the time you walk out your front door. Hi there, I'm Barbara, and this is Classic Fashion 60 Plus, the channel where we prove that style doesn't retire just because we did. Today, I'm walking you through 7 secrets, 7 things I want you to stop doing to your bob right this minute, and exactly what to do instead. No fancy salon jargon, no 15-step routines, and I promise you'll see real before and afters, so you know I'm not just talking pretty. Which one of these habits do you think might be yours? Keep watching because I guarantee at least one of these is happening in your bathroom mirror every single morning. Ready? Let's get into it. But real quick, before I get started, let me just say something, because I know some of you scrolled past 100 videos to land on this one. You are not too old for a beautiful haircut. Nobody is handing out an expiration date at 60, 65, or 70. What actually happens is that most of us just keep doing the same routine on autopilot, the same blow dry, the same product, the same everything because it's comfortable, and comfortable quietly turns into dated without us ever noticing the shift happening. That's all this video is, a gentle nudge to notice. All right, now let's really get into it. Secret number 1, stop wearing your bob completely flat and one length. I call this the helmet trap, and it is the single most common thing I see on women over 60. You spend good money on a beautiful cut, and then you blow it dry, pin straight, all one length, no movement, and it just sits there like a bowl on your head. It doesn't matter how healthy your hair is underneath. A flat, one-length bob reads as stiff, and stiff reads as older, whether we like it or not. My client Eleanor came to me wearing her bob exactly like this for probably 20 years. Same length, same flat finish, every single day. I asked her, "When's the last time someone touched your face and said, 'Oh, I love your hair'?" She thought about it and said, "Honestly, I can't remember." So we didn't cut much off. We just softened the edges with what's called point cutting, tiny little angled snips instead of one straight blunt line. And we added soft layers around her face only, nowhere else. Her before photo showed a heavy, flat carton with no light getting through. Her after photo, soft, wispy pieces framing her cheekbones, catching the light, moving when she talked. She called me 2 days later and said, "Barbara, my daughter asked if I got Botox." I did not touch her face, only her hair. Here's why this works so beautifully on us. As we get a little older, our face naturally softens, and our features can start to look like they're being swallowed by hard, straight lines. Soft layers do the opposite of aging you. They lift and open up the face instead of boxing it in. To style this at home, rough dry your hair about 70% of the way with your fingers, not a brush. Then use a small round brush just on the face framing pieces, curving them slightly inward toward your jaw. That's it. And here's a little something extra while we're on the topic of framing your face. If your bob sits at the jaw or just below it, your earrings matter more than you think. Tiny stud earrings get completely lost in soft layers like these, so reach for a small huggy hoop or a delicate drop earring instead, something with a little movement of its own so it doesn't disappear into your hair. One more thing on this one. Don't be afraid of a texturizing spray on dry hair once you finish styling. Just a light mist and a scrunch with your fingertips at the ends. It breaks up any leftover stiffness and gives those soft layers a lived-in, effortless quality, instead of that just left the salon look that honestly nobody's fooled by anyway. If you've ever caught yourself patting your bob back into place all day long because it's too stiff to move on its own, comment the word flat below. I want to know how many of you are dealing with this exact thing. Secret number 2, stop parting your hair dead center out of habit. I know, you've parted your hair the same way since high school, and it feels like a betrayal to change it now. But a dead center part on a bob, especially once our hair has thinned even a little at the crown, can actually widen the face and show more scalp than we'd like. My client Patricia had parted her hair straight down the middle her entire life. When I suggested we move it to a soft side part just a couple inches over, she looked at me like I'd asked her to dye it purple. We tried it anyway. Before, her part showed a visible strip of scalp right at the crown, under salon lighting. After, that same side part created natural lift and shadow, and the crown looked instantly fuller without a single extra hair being added. She stood up, looked in the mirror, and said, "Well, I look like I actually have hair up there." Here's why it works. When you part your hair to the side, gravity and the natural fall of the hair create overlap at the root, and overlap reads as thickness. A center part has nowhere to hide. Everything just falls straight down on both sides with nothing crossing over. To find your part, take your comb and start about 1.5 inches back from your natural hairline curve, and let the part follow that curve rather than cutting a hard, straight line. Blow dry with your head tipped slightly to the opposite side of the part for extra root lift. This one costs you nothing and takes 30 extra seconds in the morning. And here's the thing nobody tells you about a side part. It also changes how your glasses sit against your face. If you wear readers or bifocals every single day, a soft side part keeps hair from bunching up under the temple of the frame, which is exactly what makes a center part and glasses look cluttered and busy together by the end of the day. Give it 2 weeks before you decide you hate it. I mean that. Your hair has a memory, and it will fight you a little at first, resisting, falling back toward that old familiar line every time you wash it. And then one day, usually somewhere around week 2, it just settles right in like it was always meant to fall that way in the first place. Hit that like button right now if you've been rocking the same part since the Reagan administration. I promise I say that with all the love in the world, because so did I for longer than I cared to admit on camera. Secret number 3. Stop teasing and hairspraying your bob into a stiff, shellacked helmet. I understand the impulse, believe me. I grew up on Aquanet just like a lot of you. But heavy teasing at the crown combined with a full can of firm hold spray creates a look that, no matter how done it feels, tends to read as older and a little bit stuck in time. My client Dorothy came in every single week for what she called her wash and set, teased within 1 inch of its life and sprayed so stiff you could have bounced a quarter off it. We talked about switching to a lightweight, root-lifting mousse applied at the scalp only, blow-tied upside down for about 90 seconds, then finished right side up with a cool shot of air to lock in the shape without any stiffness at all. Her before picture showed that classic dome shape, very rounded, very fixed in place. Her after picture had soft, natural volume that actually moved when she turned her head, not a helmet, real hair with real body. She told me, "I didn't realize how much younger movement makes you look until I saw myself turn my head in that mirror." Here's why this matters so much. Stiff, unmoving hair signals rigidity, and rigidity is something our eye associates with age, fair or not. Soft movement, even just a little bit, signals ease and confidence. To To get this at home, work a dime-size amount of mousse into damp roots only. Flip your head upside down while blow-drying for about 90 seconds, then flip back up and finish with a cool shot from your dryer to set that lift without any crunch at all. And while we're talking about softening things up, this is a wonderful moment to think about scarves. A soft silk scarf tied loosely at the neck, not wound up tight, complements this looser, more movement-filled hair beautifully. A tightly cinched scarf next to stiff, sprayed hair just doubles down on that rigid look we're trying to move away from. If you must use hairspray, and plenty of us do because Lord knows the wind exists, look for one labeled flexible hold rather than firm or extra hold, and spray it from at least 10 inches away, sweeping it lightly over the top rather than dousing your roots directly. Your hair should move when you touch it. If it crunches, that's your sign to switch products. Now, before we get to secret number 4, and this next one might genuinely be the biggest culprit of them all, if you're finding this helpful so far, would you go ahead and hit that subscribe button on Classic Fashion 60+? We put out new videos like this every single week, all designed for exactly where we are in life right now, not for 25-year-olds. It costs you nothing, and it means the world to this little channel. Okay, back to it. Secret number 4. And this might be the one that surprises you most. Stop choosing the same bob length you've had for the last decade without checking it against your neck and jawline as they are today. Our necks change as we get older. That's simply the truth nobody puts on the packaging. And a bob length that looked wonderful on you at 50 can sometimes work against you at 65 or 70. My client Nancy had worn a very short cropped bob that hit right above her jaw for years, and it had started to draw more attention to her neck than she wanted. We didn't go longer, we actually just adjusted the angle, letting the front pieces come down just slightly longer than the back, grazing right at the jaw instead of stopping above it. Her before photo showed that classic cut straight across at its shortest point. Her after photo had that gentle downward slope toward the chin that essentially draws the eye up and along the jawline instead of straight across the neck. She said to me, "I feel like I got my neck back without a single needle involved." Here's why this little adjustment works. A line that angles slightly downward toward the front creates what stylists sometimes call a lifting effect. Your eye naturally follows that diagonal line upward toward the cheekbones, rather than resting flat across the neck. To style it yourself between cuts, blow dry your front sections forward and slightly under, almost like you're hugging your jaw with the ends of your hair. And here's a proportion tip that goes hand in hand with this one. If your bob now grazes right at your jaw or slightly below it, be mindful of high, tight collars and turtlenecks. They can create competition right where you want the eye to travel smoothly from hair to face to neckline. A soft scoop neck or a gently open collar gives that angled bob room to do its job. This is also the moment to think about necklaces if you wear one at all. A short choker-style necklace worn against a jaw-grazing bob tends to visually shorten the neck even further, while a slightly longer pendant resting an inch or two below the collarbone actually elongates everything and gives your eye somewhere to travel. Small adjustment, big difference in photographs especially. Comment below and tell me honestly, when's the last time you actually asked your stylist to angle your cut for your neck rather than just trimming the same length shorter? Secret number 5. Stop using heavy, thick styling products meant for young, coarse hair on your fine, mature strands. This one is so common because a lot of us just keep buying whatever's on the shelf at the drugstore without realizing our hair's needs have genuinely changed. Heavy creams and thick serums applied all over can weigh fine hair down until it looks flat and greasy by 2 in the afternoon, no matter how gorgeous the cut is. My client Vivian was using a rich anti-frizz cream, a lovely product, just entirely wrong for her hair type, all over her bob every single morning. By noon, her volume was completely gone. We switched her to a featherweight volumizing mousse at the root, and nothing but a tiny drop of lightweight oil worked only through the very ends to control any flyaways. Her before photo, taken at midday, showed flat, oily-looking roots. Her after photo, same time of day, weeks later, still had lift and separation. She told me, "I finally understand what people mean when they say their hair has body. I thought that was just something other women had." Here's why the placement matters as much as the product. Roots need lightweight lift. That's where volume lives. Ends need just enough weight to control frizz without dragging the whole style down. When you put heavy product everywhere, you're fighting your own hair. Apply mousse to damp roots with your fingers. Work any oil or serum only through the last inch or two of your ends, and never ever rub product into your scalp and hairline the same way you would the length of your hair. And one more little secret while we're in the bathroom together. Look for the word lightweight or featherweight right on the front label. If a product's marketed for curly, coarse, or thick hair, it is almost certainly too heavy for what most of us are working with after 60, no matter how nice the bottle looks on the shelf. If you've got a cabinet full of products you bought because the bottle promised the world and delivered flat, greasy hair by 3 o'clock, you are absolutely not alone. So tell me in the comments, how many half-used bottles are we talking about here? Secret number 6. Stop letting your color go flat, brassy, or one solid tone without any dimension. I see this constantly. Either the color's gone brassy and orange with time, or it's one completely flat shade with no light or shadow built into it anywhere. Flat color sits on top of the hair instead of moving with it, and it can actually make your bob look shorter and heavier than it really is. My client Peggy had been getting the same all-over color for probably 15 years, a solid medium brown with absolutely no variation. We added soft, natural lowlights just around the face and a few subtle, lighter pieces right at the part line. Nothing dramatic, nothing that would need constant upkeep. Her before photo showed a flat, almost helmet-like color block. Her after photo had dimension, little ribbons of light and shadow that made her cut look like it had layers, even in the color itself. She said, "It's the exact same length hair I walked in with, but somehow, standing right here, it looks like there's more of it." Here's why. Dimension in color mimics the way natural light and shadow fall through hair that has movement, so even a completely stationary photograph reads as fuller and softer. If you're not ready for highlights, even asking your colorist for a gloss with just slightly warmer tones woven through can do wonders. And speaking of tone, here's a proportion tip worth remembering. Your jewelry's metal tone should generally echo the warmth or coolness of your hair color. Warmer, honey, and caramel tones in your hair tend to sing next to gold and rose gold. Cooler, ashier, or silver-toned hair almost always looks more expensive next to silver or platinum pieces. It's a small detail, but it's the kind of thing that makes an outfit look put together without anyone quite knowing why. And if your color has gone brassy rather than flat, ask your colorist specifically for a blue or violet toning gloss. It neutralizes that unwanted orange or yellow cast without adding a single new highlight, and most salons can do it in under 20 minutes while you sit and read your magazine. And now, before we get to secret number 7, which I promise you is the one that ties this entire video together and honestly explains why the first 6 sometimes don't work the way you would expect, let me just say, if you've made it this far, you clearly care about looking and feeling your absolute best, and that is exactly who this channel is built for. Secret number 7, the big one. Stop cutting and styling your bob the exact same way, regardless of your face shape. This sounds obvious when I say it out loud, but you would be shocked how many women walk into a salon, point to a photo of someone else entirely, and say, "I want that one," without any conversation about whether that particular bob actually suits the shape of their own face. A bob is not one haircut, it is a category of haircuts, and the version that flatters a round face is often the exact opposite of what flatters a long or square face. My client Rosemary brought in a photo of a very blunt, chin-length bob she'd seen online and loved. The trouble was, her face was quite round, and that particular blunt shape would have widened her further right at its shortest point. Instead, we customized it. We kept the length she wanted, but added a slight angle, longer in front, shorter in back, with soft layers starting right at the cheekbone. Her before photo from before she ever sat in my chair was a cut that genuinely fought her bone structure. Her after photo showed elongation, softness, and a shape that looked like it was made for her, because at that point it truly was. She told me, "I finally understand why my old bob never looked like the picture I brought in. It wasn't the cut, it was that it was never really meant for my face to begin with." Here's why this is the secret that changes everything. Every other tip in this video works best when it's layered on top of a base shape that's already correct for your particular face. Round faces generally do beautifully with more angle and length variation. Square faces soften wonderfully with rounded, wispy ends. Long faces often benefit from a fuller, chin-length shape with volume out at the sides rather than height on top. Heart-shaped faces tend to love a bob that's fuller at the jaw to balance a narrower chin. Oval faces, lucky as they are, can genuinely wear almost any version of this cut and still look wonderful. Before your next appointment, take a good look in the mirror, or better yet, have your stylist actually talk through your face shape with you before a single cut is made, rather than just recreating a photograph off the internet. And if you're not sure what shape you're working with, here's the simplest way to check. Pull your hair straight back, look in a well-lit mirror, and trace the outline of your face with a dry erase marker or even just your finger against the glass. Widest at the cheekbones and narrower at the forehead and chin generally means round or heart. Roughly the same width the whole way down usually means square or oblong. It takes 30 seconds and it will change every single haircut conversation you have from this point forward. So let's bring this all together with 4 quick things you can ask your stylist at your very next appointment, and not one of them costs you a thing extra. They're simply words to say out loud in that chair. Number 1, ask for point cutting instead of a single, straight, blunt line. It softens everything without sacrificing a single inch of length. Number 2, ask specifically where volumizing product should go on your particular hair, roots or ends, because that answer is genuinely different for every single person sitting in that chair. Number 3, before a single cut is made, have an honest conversation about your face shape and your neck as they are today, not the length you remember wanting 20 years ago. And number 4, bring a photo of your favorite necklines and glasses along with your inspiration haircut photo. A good stylist wants to see the whole picture, not just the hair, because the hair is only ever half of what people see when they look at you. 7 secrets, and every single one of them costs you nothing but a little bit of intention the next time you get ready. You already have the hair. You already have the bone structure that's carried you through every decade so far, and it is still doing its job beautifully. It's just been waiting for someone to give it a little direction. All it needed was for someone to finally tell you the truth about what's been holding it back, instead of just handing you another product to buy and hoping for the best. I've watched women walk into that chair convinced they were simply too old for their hair to do anything for them anymore, and walk out standing up a little straighter, catching their own reflection in the mirror by the door on their way out, and smiling at it instead of avoiding it. That is genuinely all I want for every single one of you watching this. Not a total transformation, not some dramatic before and after for the sake of a video, just your best version of the hair you already have. If this video helped you even a little, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss what we've got coming next here on Classic Fashion 60+. Because trust me, you do not want to miss it. We've got a video coming soon on the exact accessories that make an outfit look 10 times more put together after 60, and you will not want to miss that one either. Now go look in that mirror, try just one of these 7 things this week. Just one. You don't have to do all 7 by tomorrow tomorrow morning and tell me down in the comments which secret you're trying first. I read every single one of them myself. I answer as many as I can, and I genuinely cannot wait to see your before and afters. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.